Grasping at straws with this one, scoffs a fervent fan on an online forum, reacting to new rumors swirling around Grand Theft Auto 6. It is not often we witness such a mixture of excitement and skepticism, but whenever the topic of Vice City Easter eggs in the forthcoming installment arises, fans split into opposing camps, each ready to defend their cherished theory. So, what is really going on with these intriguing sites that some players claim to have caught a glimpse of in the second official trailer? And how does all of this tie back to one of the most iconic settings in the entire Grand Theft Auto series? Today we are diving deep into the heart of this mystery surrounding Grand Theft Auto 6 and the countless nods to Vice City that might be hidden in plain sight. In this script, we will examine the alleged cameo of Tommy Vercetti's mansion, explore whether a blink-and-you-miss-it dance move is truly a nod to the old Vice City nightclub scene, and dig into the reasons why many fan theories provoke responses ranging from unwavering belief to outright dismissal. We will also delve into the emotional roller coaster that longtime fans of the series have endured, the teasing from Rockstar Games, and how the developer's silence since dropping the second trailer only fuels further speculation. Picture this: a trailer barely passes the 2-minute mark, and in that short span, the environment brims with neon glow reminiscent of an 80s nightlife haven. We see palm trees looming over a shimmering skyline, fast cars streaking across a sunlit highway, and glamorous people dancing under pink and purple lighting. For the eagle-eyed among us, there is a single shot featuring a luxurious beachfront mansion in the background. That alone has ignited a conflagration of theories across message boards, with some viewers convinced that this is the spitting image of Tommy Vercetti's estate from the original Grand Theft Auto Vice City, which hit consoles decades ago and captured the hearts of players worldwide. Right after noticing that fleeting shot of a mansion, fans wasted no time dissecting each pixel, color grading the frame to highlight the architecture, and comparing it side by side with screenshots from Vice City. On one hand, you have gamers exclaiming, "It is absolutely a direct reference to Tommy." On the other, critics retort, "Not every mansion in Florida has to be connected to Vice City's protagonist." This exchange underscores a deeper divide among gamers. The distinction between those who are desperately searching for confirmation of beloved nostalgia in a modern iteration versus those who believe the new game should stand on its own. Is this mansion really a resurrection of an 80s dream, or are fans simply seeing what they want to see? There is also another subject fueling fervent discussion. In one snippet of the trailer, we see a figure, barely on screen for 0.2 seconds, executing a dance move that might just be straight out of Vice City's iconic nightclubs. In the original Vice City game, dancing was one of those atmospheric touches that immersed us in a cartoonishly neon world, with over-the-top moves set to the groove of retro anthems. So, do we have a genuine callback to those flamboyant moves, or is this simply a background extra boogieing in a typical modern style? The debate began the moment loyalists of the series freeze-framed that short scene, pointing out the pose, the arm motion, and the distinct hip sway that they claim belongs to the classic Vice City dance. Others, of course, remain unconvinced, saying that it is just as likely an unrelated random motion captured for flavor. As we dig deeper, it is essential to remember how these whispers and rumors came to be. Many fans have felt starved for information about Grand Theft Auto 6 for years, ever since the initial wave of leaks suggested a return to Vice City. That was enough to set the community alight, conjuring daydreams of Tommy Vercetti references, an updated modern-day version of the famed city, and all the pastel-soaked glamour that made the original Vice City so beloved. When Rockstar Games eventually acknowledged that Vice City would indeed serve as a focal point, the fandom's excitement soared to new heights. Now, though, the hype is tempered by concerns about long waits. With the game confirmed, then teased, and recently delayed once again, this time presumably until May 26, 2026, folks are caught between exhilaration and an acute sense of frustration. The second trailer showcased close to 100 new screenshots, worth of fleeting glimpses into characters, neighborhoods, and dramatic vehicle action. This means occasional small details can overshadow bigger announcements, as people pore over everything from graffiti in the background to suspicious license plates, hungry to unearth any sign of a classic callback. Yet, in that swirl of rumors, some fans pose a legitimate question. Is Rockstar intentionally leaving us these breadcrumbs, or are we simply turning random details into grand revelations? Let us consider the pattern from previous games. Rockstar has a history of layering their worlds with references to prior entries, be they subtle or blatant. In Grand Theft Auto 5, you could find nods to Red Dead Redemption, older Grand Theft Auto titles, and even obscure cultural phenomena. So, the idea that Rockstar would drop references to Vice City in the next big release is hardly outlandish. But striking the perfect balance between homage and innovation can be tricky. If the developers rely too heavily on nostalgia, critics might say the game fails to break new ground. Too few tributes, however, and the community might feel Rockstar has abandoned what made Vice City special in the first place. This puts the entire project under the microscope, with each new trailer spawning lengthy debates, heated arguments, and some rather creative detective work by fans. Indeed, the notion of an entire subculture dedicated to frame-by-frame breakdowns is telling of the passion that Grand Theft Auto evokes. Here is one especially gripping theory. Certain watchers of the second trailer claim they can see a small floating object, a reflection in a window, or perhaps a neon sign, bearing the faint outline of a chainsaw. Why does this matter? Because a chainsaw was an emblematic weapon for Tommy Vercetti in Vice City, leading some to hypothesize that we will see everything from cameo appearances by classic character outfits to entire story arcs bridging the gap between the 80s gangster vibe and the modern twist. Could Tommy or his spiritual successor, or some mention of the Lance Vance dance, appear in the final version of Grand Theft Auto 6? It feels both wildly improbable and absolutely plausible, which is precisely why so many are enthralled by these rumors. At this point, you might be thinking, perhaps we are reading too much into this. However, that is precisely the fun of fan speculation. People are invested, sometimes too invested, and it is that unstoppable passion that keeps Grand Theft Auto relevant, even when official news remains sparse. And that is part of Rockstar's genius marketing ploy. All they need to do is provide the slightest snippet, and the community handles the rest, generating discussion, excitement, and yes, even conflict. Speaking of excitement, if you are enjoying this deep dive into the swirling rumors, give us a quick nod or a thumbs up, because every reaction helps keep these conversations alive. Now, let us pivot to another hot topic. After the second trailer stirred up the online chatter, Rockstar signaled that they would be mostly quiet for the next few months. Some fans interpret this silence as a calculated move. Drip feed us with a major teaser, watch the internet explode with speculation, and let the rumor mill do its job. Others are impatient, demanding more clarity on storyline, playable characters, and the specific ways Vice City will be updated to reflect a modern era. Will we lose the neon glow and pastel suits that shaped the aesthetic in the older game, or will they remain an integral part of the style, especially for those who lived through the original Vice City's release? Adopting the cliché-laden stylings of that decade might be critical to capturing the correct vibe. Still, there is evidence that Rockstar is not ignoring fans entirely. As recently as their Grand Theft Auto Online Money Fronts update, they peppered in a subtle nod to the future game, with new artwork reminiscent of Vice City's sun-soaked allure. The question remains whether those morsels of new content will do enough to tide people over until May 26th, 2026. That date has become something of a punchline in certain gaming circles. Some believe it will be delayed once again, continuing a cycle of hype and disappointment. Yet to many die-hard fans, this signals Rockstar's trademark perfectionism. They want Grand Theft Auto 6 to be truly revolutionary, not just a rehash of prior glories. In that context, these Vice City Easter eggs become even more critical. For many, Vice City was the game that truly elevated the Grand Theft Auto series from a gritty crime simulator to a pop culture phenomenon. The storyline of Tommy Vercetti working his way through the city's underbelly, the atmospheric touches of palm trees, neon lights, and retro tunes, all turned Vice City into an immersive experience that countless gamers still remember with a nostalgic glow. The mere idea that we might see the old mansion, the throwback outfits, or references to the characters who once roamed the neon-drenched streets has the power to evoke those feelings all over again. On the other hand, some are worried that the upcoming game might overshadow those memories with something entirely new. The concept of a modern Vice City means relinquishing certain hallmarks of the 80s aesthetic. We might be dealing with contemporary skyscrapers, digital billboards, or even practical real-world influences from the 2020s. Could that strip away the magic? Or do we trust Rockstar to delicately integrate reminders of the old Vice City for the faithful, while forging a fresh identity that captures current themes of high-tech corruption and digital age crime? Such questions underlie the entire discussion, and the second trailer's Easter eggs, real or imagined, only bring that tension to the surface. Let us examine more fan reactions. Some have found the excitement thrilling, while others describe it as exhausting. "How can we be this hyped up for something almost 3 years away?" complains one exasperated forum user. Indeed, devoting hours to scouring screenshots is not for everyone, and some might prefer to wait until Rockstar provides official details. Yet the rumor hunters keep pressing on, claiming to have discovered even more references hidden in background signs, license plates, or the cryptic gestures of non-playable characters. This detective work has become part of the culture, a communal game before the real game arrives, and for better or worse, it shows no sign of slowing. Mentions of the Lance Vance dance, for instance, not only tickle the nostalgic side of fans, but conjure up comedic memories of Vice City's flamboyant comedic sidekicks. If Rockstar is indeed planning to incorporate references to that dance, how will they do so? Will it be a cameo performance in a modern nightclub, bridging that gap between the 80s and the present day? Could it be an offhand line by a new character, paying homage to Lance Vance's legacy? Or perhaps fans truly are grasping at straws, and none of these little sightings mean anything. The question lingers, fueling countless threads, speculations, and excitement. Now, let us spotlight one fascinating angle, the psychological aspect of Easter egg hunting. Veteran gamers recall the days when internet access was not quite so universal, so discovering a hidden reference in a game felt like a personal treasure. Nowadays, with the internet connecting everyone instantaneously, a single screenshot can be analyzed by thousands within minutes. The line between legitimate discovery and mass hallucination can grow thin, especially when the underlying desire to see Vice City references is so strong. But before we spiral too far into the unknown, let us consider how Rockstar typically handles these concerns. Historically, they have delighted in providing subtle winks and nods. Look at Grand Theft Auto V's UFO mysteries, or the tangled threads connecting it to Red Dead Redemption's Easter eggs. It is almost guaranteed that they have hidden references to Vice City and Grand Theft Auto 6. The question is whether the second trailer's alleged sightings are among those references or not. That ongoing uncertainty keeps watchers returning to the footage, rechecking the background, and curious to see if any new revelations will emerge whenever we next hear from Rockstar. Nevertheless, the mere fact that fans remain so engaged points to the culture that Grand Theft Auto fosters, a mix of crime drama and comedic insanity, layered with real emotional attachment to previous settings and characters. For many gamers, Vice City was their first taste of truly open-world madness, so of course they want that feeling back, in a reimagined, updated form. If that means analyzing the shape of a building in the background, or the posture of a dancer on screen for a fraction of a second, so be it. Let us be honest, we all crave that moment where Rockstar steps forward and says, "Yes, that mansion is indeed a tribute to Tommy Vercetti," validating months of speculation. And if you would love to see that sweet confirmation too, consider hitting that subscribe or follow button so you never miss these updates, especially as we move closer to the big release. Meanwhile, the big challenge facing Rockstar is how to manage expectations. Many fans want to see direct references, the iconic Hawaiian shirts, retro cars, or even cameo appearances from old characters, older radio DJs, or comedic commercials that made the Grand Theft Auto brand so memorable. But the developer also aims to build a new story that stands on its own. Obviously, modern times bring new conflicts, new subcultures, and new forms of criminal enterprise. The tension lies in bridging the yearning for nostalgia with the responsibility to create something unprecedented. Should they keep the same radio station vibe from Vice City or move wholeheartedly into contemporary music trends? Some gamers highlight how Vice City was situated in a time long before smartphones, social media, or the ubiquitous technology we live with today. Bringing Vice City into the 2020s means a radical shift in how criminals, nightlife enthusiasts, or regular citizens interact. Could that change the city so much that it loses its identity? The second trailer offered glimpses of a bustling city with modern sports cars and a skyline featuring glitzy skyscrapers. Yet in the corners of those frames, some claim you can see the skeleton of the old city, the architecture that shaped the original. That tension between old and new is at the core of the fan community's obsession. Consider the possibility of dramatic storylines exploring how former criminals from the 80s might now be middle-aged, looking back on a golden era of gangster glamour, while a new generation runs amok with more advanced tools. Might Rockstar build a narrative around that generational clash? Or are we reading too deeply into half a second of footage? The second trailer teased a wide cast of characters but offered minimal concrete detail. We see glimpses of apparent protagonists, rocking modern attire, smartphones in hand, or stepping into futuristic vehicles. Yet it remains plausible that side missions or Easter egg hunts could lead us back to old haunts, or maybe reveal diaries, graffiti, or references to Tommy Vercetti's old crew. Remember how, in Grand Theft Auto 5, you could stumble upon nostalgic references if you delved into the environment deeply enough? This style of open-world design fosters an organic sense of discovery, which only intensifies the community's conviction that every mansion must be Tommy's mansion. It is also worth discussing the possibility that these rumored Vice City references are just the tip of the iceberg. If fans are correct about the glimpses they have discovered, we might see a cascade of references in the final product. The incomplete puzzle pieces from the trailer might, in the final version, fit together to form a full-blown tribute to that classic phase of GTA history. On the other hand, perhaps it will all remain subtle, just enough to keep the dedicated watchers on their toes and give them a reason to roam every street corner of the open world in search of the next hidden gem. Those who advocate for subtlety argue that too many references can detract from forging a new identity. If half the story were built around reintroducing old characters or locales, the new protagonists might be overshadowed. Rockstar faced a similar challenge in Grand Theft Auto 5, creating an entirely new cast while only occasionally winking at older tales through small pointers. For instance, the infamous Grove Street references evoked curiosity about the fate of characters from San Andreas. It might be a no-win scenario, highlight too many old references and risk being accused of lacking innovation, or incorporate too few and risk alienating fans who want reassurance that their cherished earlier experiences remain relevant. If we zoom out, taking a holistic view, we can see how these Vice City Easter eggs represent a microcosm of fan expectations for Grand Theft Auto 6 as a whole. On the one side are those who crave a heavy dose of nostalgia, longing to recapture the sense of wonder and rebellious joy that Vice City delivered. On the flip side are others who applaud Rockstar for always pushing boundaries, seeking a brand new experience that stands far above the references and the nostalgia factor. That conflict is what makes each rumor so divisive. Even a minor detail, a mansion here, a dance move there, swiftly sparks arguments about what we truly want from the new game. Rockstar, for their part, might be planning an ingenious approach to unify these audiences. Perhaps we will get an overarching modern narrative that sprinkles just enough Vice City callbacks to satisfy those who adore that style. Or maybe they will go all in, weaving an epic connection between the old storyline and new heroes, tying up loose ends from decades ago. Honestly, the second trailer offered just enough to stoke the flames of speculation, but hardly enough to confirm any solid theory. In the end, the only certain thing is the fervor and dedication of the Grand Theft Auto fan community. We can expect more rumors, more theories, and more heated debates with every morsel of information until that elusive release date in May 26, 2026, assuming no further delays. And in many ways, that is what keeps the spark alive. This sense of never quite knowing what is behind the curtain, yet being enthralled by the possibility that something extraordinary awaits us. Indeed, Vice City's haunting presence in the trailers might be a sign that Rockstar intends to deliver an experience that fuses the best of classic GTA with the unstoppable march of modern technology and storytelling. That promise alone compels many fans to replay older titles, reacquaint themselves with the neon glow of Vice City's streets, and gather every possible clue in the new footage. The yearning to revisit that pastel paradise is so strong that even a mundane detail can shape entire discussion threads. As the clock ticks down, or rather drags along, until Rockstar shares more official updates, the possibility of Easter eggs, illusions, and teased expansions remains open territory. Who knows? Perhaps the next wave of leaked screenshots or official statements will definitively confirm or debunk the mansion's identity, or reveal whether that dancing figure truly evokes the comedic brilliance of Vice City. Until then, the debate rages on, weaving together equal parts frustration and euphoria for series loyalists. Rockstar's sly placeholders in the game likely spawn from an intentional blueprint to keep us guessing, fueling free publicity and anticipation. And it works. History has taught us that a new Grand Theft Auto is always a cultural event. With the promise of returning to Vice City, modernized but hopefully brimming with the glitz and chaos we remember, the potential for shocking narrative twists and meaningful nods to fan favorites is tantalizing. As we wait for official confirmation or denial of these rumored Easter eggs, excitement only spreads. If you felt a rush of nostalgia at the mention of the Lance Vance dance, or you are itching to see whether that luxurious backdrop could be Tommy Vercetti's updated home base, you are not alone. This communal longing for something beloved in our gaming memories resonates deeply, crossing age brackets and uniting players of various backgrounds. So, are we indeed grasping at straws or stumbling onto genuine hidden secrets? Is that dancing woman truthfully channeling the Vice City clubs of old, or is it plain coincidence? We might not get concrete answers for quite some time, but one thing remains sure. This conversation keeps us enthralled, bridging past and future, fueling debates, theories, and conspiracy-laden speculation. Whether we discover that the rumored references are real or just well-intentioned illusions, Rockstar has achieved something spectacular. They have us all talking, dreaming, analyzing, and anticipating their newest creation in a way that few gaming franchises can match. If this extended look into the swirling rumors and heated controversies has left you wanting more, share your thoughts with friends or on social media, and let them know exactly where you stand in this debate. And keep your eyes peeled, because once the next wave of official news hits, be it a new teaser, a screenshot, or a cryptic leak, the conversation around Grand Theft Auto 6's Vice City Easter eggs will undoubtedly explode in fresh and unexpected ways. After all, the real magic of the Grand Theft Auto series is the endless supply of stories, both in-game and among the community, that keep us enthralled from one major release to the next.